Hello, today we're going to look at perpendicular bisectors and draw them and write the equations of the lines. Now first, we want to figure out what perpendicular bisectors are. There's two things in this. They're both perpendicular, so they cross a segment at 90 degrees, and bisector means it cuts them in two. So bisect is cut into two. So if it cuts it in half, I'll cut this in half here. And now it's a line that has to be perpendicular. So I'll try to draw it the best I can and draw a little 90-degree angle up here. And this line is a perpendicular bisector. If I did CD, I would try to get a point in the middle. If I had a ruler, I'd try to be more specific. 90 degrees, I got to move it over so it goes through the middle. And this is a perpendicular bisector of CD. Now to mark it correctly, we have to have a 90-degree angle and show this side is congruent to this side. Over here I have a 90-degree angle, show this side is congruent to this side. Alright, so now let's draw a perpendicular bisector on a graph. Well, we can be a little bit more specific because we have numbers. The point exactly in the middle we could figure out by finding the midpoint. 3 plus 9 is 12, divide by 2, and that gets us to 6. And to find the y-coordinate, we have 7 plus negative 2 divided by 2. That's 5 over 2, which is 2.5. So let's plot that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 2.5. And now I have the midpoint. So that's good. But now we want to find it has to be perpendicular. And I could just sketch it out. Or I could try to figure out its slope. First off, we can find the slope of this. I'll try to do this in different color. The slope of our segment is negative 2 minus 7 over 9 minus 3. What's that? Negative 9 over 6. Oh, that could be reduced, can it? 3, that would be negative 3 over 2. So it looks like I go down 3 for every 2 I go over. So my perpendicular slope is going to be the negative reciprocal of that. So I flip it and make it positive, 2/3. Now what's tricky is that's not exactly on a point. We have to go 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. And now once we have that, now I can draw a perpendicular bisector. And this is a little bit more accurate than the sketches I did on the previous page. All right, let's do one more of these just so we get the hang of it. So the first step, we want to find the middle, somewhere in here. So I'm going to add my x's, 8 plus negative 4 and divide by 2. That's 4 over 2, which is 2. And my y's, 1 plus 3. That's 4 over 2, which is 2. So the point 2, 2. Oops, that's not what I wanted. 2, 2 is our point, our midpoint. Now to find our slope, I'm going to do 3 minus 1 over 8 minus negative 4. So I have 2 over 12, which can reduce to 1 over 6. So my perpendicular slope is, if that's positive, this has to be negative. The reciprocal of this is negative 6. So that means I go down 6 for every one I go over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 over. And now I can draw my perpendicular line. So that cuts it in half and crosses at 90 degrees. All right. Now we need to find the equation of a perpendicular bisector. We don't even have a picture of it. We just have to write the equation. All right. So now we're going to do the same process where I find the midpoint first. The midpoint, we can do that without looking at it. We have 2 plus 5 over 2, 6 plus 12 divided by 2. So 7 over 2 is 3.5. That's 18 over 2, which is 9. I have my midpoint figured out. Now I need to find my slope of my segment. Slope of our segment. And that we can do without a graph. We can just take 12 minus 6 over 5 minus 2. And that's going to be 6 over 3, which just turns into 2. Done. Now we need to find our perpendicular slope. So our perpendicular slope, if that's 2, our perpendicular slope would be, if that's positive, this has to be negative, and the reciprocal would be negative 1 over 2. Now it's time for the equation. I might not have enough room here, so I'm just going to get rid of this line. Maybe write in a purple or something. So my equation is going to be, we have our midpoint, so we have a point on our perpendicular bisector, and we have our slope. So point slope form is what works the best. So I'd say y minus my y value, which is 9, equals my perpendicular slope, x minus 3.5. And now even without a picture, I wrote the equation of that slope. Pretty neat, huh? All right, and we are done with this video.